Welcome, friends and family. So excited to be here with you today at our Cookeville Elevate Media Room, our studio. I'm here today with a wonderful friend of mine, Miss Renaye Cooper. Renaye, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Elijah.
100% our pleasure. And you know, I've had the privilege of knowing Miss Renaye probably over 6-7 years now. We lived in the same area, went to school in the same schools, but to get the privilege of being able to work next to Miss Renaye is a blessing every day. This lady brings a lot of great energy with her. Is always very positive person. And we've been going through the book together, Unreasonable Hospitality. And last week, this week, Renaye had the chapter, I believe it was chapter 4.
Chapter 3.
Chapter 3. See, guys, I've not got it all together here today. But that's the good thing, is we can just do this impromptu. But on chapter 3, it talked about being very intentional in life. And I love what you said, Renaye. It's not about what we say. It's about how we make people feel.
Right. We can be intentional and get every task and make sure that we have everything planned out every day. But in the end, it's how did you leave that person feeling with your intentionality?
Yes. And I think that's kind of a forgotten sauce in this day and age.
Yes.
Even in the great state of Tennessee, people just get running so quick that they forget, I got to slow down and treat people like I'd want to be treated. And sometimes it's just not taught to us. Where did you learn that? I mean, there's no doubt you've got that sauce in your life. You're a great spirit, great soul. You care about people. Where did that come from? Like, where did that originate for you?
That was embedded in me by my grandmother, who, if you treat people right, people are going to treat you right. It's the same adage of hurt people hurt people. So if you're intentionally every day making an effort to make someone else's day better, how can yours not be? So, by going through the task and setting out your day and planning everything you're going to do, that's all great. But if you only just check off your list, nothing really got accomplished. But if in checking off your lists, you brought someone else one moment of happiness or one moment of peace about something, then you've accomplished way more than you left with. So tomorrow, your list may be a little bit bigger, but you're going to accomplish more. And people are going to remember how today left them feeling. So tomorrow, they're going to be more apt to help you, more apt to smile back at you. Or maybe if they see that you don't have a smile, then they're going to be able to pass that along to you the next time. So making sure that people feel that you care is very important. And it takes a lot of intention. If you start out thinking it's a bad day, it's going to be a bad day. If you tell yourself first thing every morning, this is going to be a great day, and this is why, it's going to become a really good day.
Yeah, the power of, like the Bible teaches, as a person thinks, so are they.
Yes.
And so if we take on the thought process that I just got to get this transaction done, then you may get it done, but you've not done it with any real heart.
Sure.
Like, this is a grudge, or this is something I got to do. I remember I think you were the one that told me the heaviest weight we ever carry is a grudge.
Yes.
But when we're doing things out of duty, it's not the same as when we're doing it out of heart. And it seems like in this book with Will, Unreasonable Hospitality, he's really made that a point of just going out of the way of really serving people and being very intentional in connecting with people, not just excellent service, which I do think means you care. When you deliver a phenomenal service, that tells me you care. That's just the expectation, like going the second mile.
Yeah, he says two things in the whole entire book. Every chapter that you read, he mentions intention. It started with his father. His father, had a very busy schedule. He was a very busy man. And every day he planned his day to the letter with great intention. But then he made sure that everything and everyone he encountered knew that his heart, it was done with heart. And then he wanted them to remember how he made them feel, not just that he had done the task. And so I think Will did the same thing, and it's the same for me. If I'm going through a transaction, I'm not just helping you buy or sell your home. I'm actually there along the way, and we'll do some counseling, so to speak. Just because if you need to voice and you need to let someone know how you feel, it's okay. And so if you're listening, truly listening, then that's intentional because it takes your time to do that. So you've put that intentionality forward, but that at the end of the conversation, you've listened, they feel better, and they're going to remember tomorrow, she listened, she knows how I feel, so I'm going to go back there.
And
So.
that's great. That's great. You had shared a story with us about when your children were young. Faith, who now works with us here too. We get to see her every day, precious lady, and some big shoes to fill, and she knows that too. And your son and your daughter. So tell us a little bit. Could you share a little bit of that story?
Sure. So in the book, this chapter 3 of intentionality, it literally says his dad planned out his whole entire day, and that brings back a lot for me because being a single parent or the only parent who's able to do anything. It takes a lot, and it is that planning process. So I was remembering it was a ball game, and all 3 of my kids played baseball and softball. At the time, all 3 fields were together in Sparta. So, and it just happened by chance. All 3 of them had a game the same day at the same time. Doesn't happen often, but when it happens, if you're a parent, whether you're 1 or 10, you can't see them all. You don't have eyes for all of them.
So you're getting pulled, like, who do
right. Who do I go with? So that particular day, all 3 of my kids came to a pivotal point in their softball, baseball careers because something big happened. And so I knew, we would leave the house in the morning. We had breakfast on the run. I had everything planned out except for how to put my eyes on 3 fields at the same time. It was like, okay, this isn't going to happen. I don't know how we're going to do this.
It's almost impossible.
Yeah. But I knew standing in a certain spot at that ball field, I could see all 3 fields. So I was present, and they knew I was present. Yeah. And I said, guys, everybody's playing today, so I'm going to stand right here. But I promise you, I'm going to know what's going on. And so in the midst of it, Keela got to pitch, and that's not something that she always got to do. And so I'm thinking, okay, she's pitching, so I can watch that. Well, then Chance was up to bat, and I'm thinking, oh, he was so angry because the coach had said, if you strike out again, I'm putting you at the bottom of the batting order. Well, for Chance, that was a big thing. He was the hind catcher. He had no way wanted to be at the bottom of the batting order just because he kept striking out. He wasn't putting his best foot forward, so he needed that moment of encouragement. So I'm thinking, okay, well, Keela comes up to pitch. Chance is up to bat, and I'm like, I'm not going to see them all. All of a sudden, Faith's coach says, Faith got dirt in her eyes. I'm like, what? Oh, no. So I'm thinking, how do I deal with all of these? So Faith is fine at the moment. I make sure, she's good. There's nothing medical there, so we're all good. But then I hear it. I heard the ting of the bat, and Chance belted that ball completely out of the field. That was probably his single most best hit that he'd ever gotten. At the same time, I heard the ump call out all the strikes. And I'm like, she literally just struck out all of those batters. Wow. And for them, that was probably their biggest moment. And so, at the end, they're all like, did you see that, Mom? Did you see that? And I never said, I saw that. What I said was, you did phenomenal. You did such a great job. I'm so proud of you. So I encouraged them, each one of them, just by the words I said, never admitted seeing, because my eyes can't be in 3 places. No. But at the end of the day, they felt big. They felt like what they did mattered. And, their coaches lift them up. Yeah.
And you encouraged that feeling.
Yes. Yeah. So even though I had my schedule and I was very intentional about how I planned my time, something happened I couldn't control. So I've done everything I could do to make everything happen. Everybody got to where they needed to go. Everything happened. All the greatness happened. That day, Chance was more encouraged about his batting. Keela decided maybe she could be a pitcher. And Faith decided that was her very last ball game. So it changed all of it changed all of their lives that day, and that was great. But they may not remember how many outs they had but at the end of the day, they knew that moment made them feel extremely special, and that I was there, and then I spoke into them how wonderful it was and how great they did. It wasn't until just the other day that, Chance found out I didn't even actually see that ball leave the field. I just knew that it happened, but he remembered how great it made him feel that I acknowledged it, and that, he had done something that impressed me. Yes. And impressed his coaches, and that grew him as a player, and that's what matters. So even with all the intention, sometimes it's things get done, but at the end, if I'd have just been like, I didn't see it, I'm sorry, the whole feeling would have been different. But being intentional with your words and with your actions and with
how you make people feel.
Yes, so it's leaving him feeling that build up at the end of the day that Still
Yeah.
15 years later, he did the grandest thing in the world, and he still feels it because that was spoken to him.
Yeah.
So being intentional is wonderful. Getting everything done, having your list laid out is great, but it's making people feel that at the end that you purposely did all of this for them, and you've made them feel great doing it.
Yeah, and that isn't easy to do.
No.
And it's not. And being a single mother, raising 3 children, and doing a great job like you've done with them. Now, getting to see Jackson and Addison, and hearing stories about Jackson and all the
Yes.
great stories that he has. I know you're a very happy grandma, very happy mother, but all that good stuff comes over into our work life. And I know John Maxwell often said, it's not, people don't care about how much you know until they know how much you care.
Right.
Offer a hand before you ask for help. These are principles that are so forgotten today. So many people just expect us they walk around with a little bit of entitlement, but we know, like for you and me, because we work together very closely, regular.
Yes.
You're an amazing team member and a great partner to have in our career here, and help me so much. But I think we know that the way we treat people is what's going to come back to us. And I don't say this to talk about myself, but quite often I'm like, Renaye, I don't know how you could stay so cool and so calm with the way that was just said. And you're like, they're having a bad day. That's on them. And that doesn't have anything to do with me. And you're able to detach from that so well, and that people actually walk away knowing that they've been cared for, even if they're having a bad day. And so I love that about you. It's such an honor to work next to you. Thank you for taking time to share this story with us today. And for all yous out there, Unreasonable Hospitality, it is a thing. Going the extra mile is a thing today. Just showing up and doing your job with no love in it, no passion in it, just kind of lackluster, people catch on to that pretty quick. But when you show up with a passion and you show up with a heart that really cares about the people you're serving, people catch on to that pretty quick too. And that's how you grow a lasting business, a lasting family, something that will live past you. So that's the goal, folks. Hope you all have a great rest of your day. If we can do anything, please let us know.